very well be the last time tonight. It is Leviathan taking on Unknown and a best of 5 Boogaloo for the 2,000 prize pool or 2,000 grand final prize of the Sudamerican Master 3. Of course, I'm not alone. I am being joined by AnneDroid. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Like you said, this is match point. Leviathan have the potential to take it all home and end it all here, but Unknown are going to fight to stay in and bring this to a game 5. So, interesting Dota. Both teams have a lot at stake, and let's see what happens.
A lot at stake indeed. I mean, to be perfectly honest, there's $1,000 at the line here. All right. And that's a lot, considering the level these teams at. I know Unknown are right now going into Frankfurt and going for a major prize pool there. But for the purpose of where we're at right now, Leviathan, this is the biggest prize pool that they're going to get for a pretty decent amount of time before the next major comes up, before the next Join Dota, MLG, whatever comes up. So Leviathan have a shot at a huge sum of money. If they do not win this game, that is a huge hit to their overall income here, and that's never something that's too good to suffer through. So Leviathan are playing, they're scraping for this win, and I almost feel like that's kind of where our rationale is for both these teams. Unknown, they don't have to win this game. Leviathan are scraping this one together. They need to win this. They really, really want to win this. It's going to mean a lot to these two teams' morale.
Alright, so I think there are potentially server issues here. There is a pause coming out, and I think some disconnects. We're remaking? Alright, is that the... Okay.
Classic.
Alright, so just abandon this one?
Yep, go for it. Anyway, just to build on that, though, I mean, these two teams, they're very evenly matched. We see that. But going back to that whole morale thing, I mean, is this really important enough to Unknown to scrape this game together? Or do you think that Unknown are just going to be like, yeah, it's another tournament. We don't really care?
I mean, I think both teams want to win this, if not just for money, for glory. Like, to win the Sudamerican Master, that's a pretty hefty title. There were a lot of big-name teams in this, and if you can come out on top, that means a lot in terms of your team strength, synergy, cooperation. I think the title speaks for itself.
Indeed, and you know, this is going to be a pretty major tournament, too, if Leviathan do win it. Remember, this is a South American-hosted tournament. Leviathan being, I think, the only North American team to be invited to this. So if they win this one, they rip this one right out of South America's feet. I mean, you can tell just by the chat alone, people really, really want Unknown to win. They have 126 votes in my hitbox poll to Leviathan's 19. Nearly every other person in the chat is saying, come on, Unknown, win, please. So, to be perfectly honest, there are a lot of favorites on Unknown, but Leviathan, we can't stress enough. They're at match point right now, and they could very well take it to the end for this game number 4.
Yeah, alright, well, we're loading into the lobby right now. We're just waiting on one more player from Leviathan. There he is, there's Shibby, so we should be loading in pretty soon.
Sorry, there's stuff going on in the actual chat of this lobby that's actually hilarious. So
I was not paying attention to it. What did I miss?
So basically, what happens is
I saw the roll.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, we're waiting on one of the co-casters of one of our casting broadcast studios, and what happens is one of the players decides to roll the dice between 1 and 2,000, and he rolls 2,000. So I don't know. That's just a little tidbit. I know it has no apparent impact on the game at hand, and you probably don't care to hear me talk about stuff that is not Dota related, but still, this is going to be a pretty interesting game. This is going to be a very interesting game. Unknown face elimination, face a $1,000 drop in their total earnings for this tournament. Let's see if they're actually able to do it, as now we load on into the lobby and maybe into a game.
Hopefully into a game. Well, the draft was going to be interesting. There were some cool bands. But anyway, we are going to see everyone loading in pretty quickly. Not a whole lot of trouble here. And just waiting on the broadcasters now.
Yep, exactly. And it looks like we're all set. All right, let's bring you guys into this one. For those just joining us, it is Team Leviathan against Unknown. Game number 4 of a best of 5 series. Leviathan with a 1 game advantage. And looking to take home the $2,000 prize pool. And, of course, back to those interesting bans. Alchemist taken away. Night Stalker as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty typical bans. I like the Night Stalker ban. Unknown are just kind of sick of it. Jenkins played the crap out of it last game, and it was so effective early game. So no more Night Stalker on the pool, but they are going to ban out the Doom as well. So nothing too out of the ordinary. I think the Night Stalker is very much a respect ban and not just a meta ban.
Yeah, the Night Stalker is Night Stalker and Darkseer. They are banning Jenkins in this first couple of picks. I mean, that's pretty huge. But Leviathan, they're going to grab Francis's Shadow Fiend once again. Now, this is a very powerful hero. They work with it well. We'll see if they can pull that same sort of success out of it, as now TA and Ember Spirit out for Unknown, two heroes that they're incredible with. But Leviathan, another Wyvern pick.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of tired of Wyvern here. A beautiful support, very aggressive in lane, and also helping out in those team fights. That Cold Embrace, how many lives has it saved this tournament? Probably like in the hundreds, but I want something fun. I want something really interesting. Show me like a Crystal Maiden or a Tide Hunter or something like that. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I want to mix it up a little bit. I've seen the same old
We've
supports.
seen Legion Commander twice.
I love Legion Commander, though. That's the difference.
Yeah. I love Legion Commander too. Fantastic hero. One of my favorites. Used to
She's
love
just-
Anti-Mage, but then Anti-Mage kind of entered a love-hate relationship with me, and now I've given him up entirely. It's all Legion Commander all the time now.
Yeah, I mean, I like Legion Commander because she's interesting to watch because she can snowball out of control, and sometimes her item progression is ridiculous. And
Yep.
when she stacks up that damage, she's just fun to watch. It like same with the Templar Assassin. Those 3-hit kills, you feel the HP going down. So Winter Wyvern doesn't have that same amazing impact. He just flies around and throws some ice at people. But once again, combos really well with the Shadow Fiend, keeps him alive in some sticky situations, and we'll see how the rest of the team matches up.
Yep, as now Unknown, they go for a Slardar. All right, pulling a little bit of a page out of Leviathan's book. Of course, we saw Jenkins on that earlier. Now it's going to be Unknown grabbing it. I don't think it's going to be either Aton or Kataru grabbing this one, as that's the Ember Spirit and Templar Assassin, respectively. Potentially see Greedy on the Slardar pick for the offlane. But then Leviathan, I mean, they can draft a safe lane to really punish that, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what they do. Wyvern obviously being an incredible hero to have, but any sort of stunner, maybe a melee laner. It doesn't strike me as the strongest one to go melee against the Slardar, but sometimes it could end up working out in your favor.
Yeah, I can almost see someone like a Juggernaut doing really well against the Slardar. Yeah, a Crush would really hurt the Juggernaut's HP pool, but Spin to win, that guy's going to take some serious damage.
Spin to win, the only issue is I think Ember Spirit has a good way of dealing with the Juggernaut pick itself there. So, I don't know. I'm not sure I would like the Juggernaut, but
Oh, it's getting real now. Team Leviathan, snap up the Pudge. Probably the offlaner right there, and man, that is... I want to say it's almost like a quirky pick. We've seen them play it pretty well, but what do you think?
I'm going to tell you right now, before that Rubik pick, I love it. I think it will do a fantastic job at locking down the TA, or Ember Spirit can get both of them out of position. The one major thing here is that if Ember Spirit Sleight of Fists, all that needs to happen is Pudge throws the hook at where the source is, and Ember Spirit will get hooked in and then die. So if Jenkins is on top of that, then boom, we've got ourselves a game. The problem is, now they've got a Rubik who can steal the hook and make life miserable for Jenkins. So it could be trouble, but if Jenkins plays the same way he did last night, I don't think they're in that big of a hole.
Yeah, another great synergy is the Rubik and Slardar. That's just an alley-oop. Rubik lips him up with the telekinesis. Slardar slams him down with the Slithering Crush. And there's my buddy, Legion Commander.
Oh, man.
I think that's just going to be filthy. If Pudge gets off a hook and a Dismember, and then Legion Commander, if she wants to throw out a duel, she can. And that's just, what, like 10, 12 seconds of complete lockdown on a hero?
Well, you don't do it on one hero, though. That's the big thing. The fact they did the same thing last game with the Necrophos pickup. You're not putting them both on one hero. You're saving the duel for the next guy. So Pudge dismembers, say, Ember Spirit. Then Legion Commander goes in and duels Templar Assassin. And there are two heroes gone. off the face of the earth. Of course, Winter Wyvern can then throw out a Winter's Curse and lock down everyone else. Shadow Fiend comes in, drops a Requiem on whoever's being dismembered or dueled, and the fight breaks wide open for Team Leviathan. Now, I think you mentioned it. The quirky picks are big, but this might be punishable just because, honestly, these guys, they snowball well, but if they get a bad start, they just don't do as well as they could be.
I agree. This is really dependent on the momentum that the game gets going with, and I think they need to pick something a little bit more stable. Like Shadow Fiend, you know what he's going to do. He's going to farm up pretty well. He's going to dish out some damage in mid. He's going to get those souls. But everyone else, it's really dependable on what they're doing. So Team Leviathan, I think they need a stable last pick in order to make sure that they get off to the right start. Someone with a reliable stun. Ogre's banned out. Again, I wouldn't be opposed to the Vengeful Spirit here either. I think she'd be a good babysitter for the Legion Commander and might help her set up kills.
Right, now, Unknown, they're going to grab the Venomancer, so a lot of damage can be coming out, especially damage over time. The slows, very typical with the Templar Assassin, in fact, to pick up this Venomancer. And Rubik, he might be a little shy for HP, but he'll be able to make up for it with his ability to steal a couple of really great spells between the Winter's Curse and the Hooky. Hell, even the Requiem or Raises are good for him, so it could be a pretty decent game for him to kind of fly around and do what he needs to do. But more importantly, he's got that great stun that you mentioned, being able to alley-oop with the Slardar. So Leviathan right here, I think they're going to need to pick themselves up a second support. Preferably a nuker, something like a maybe a Lion even. Could be incredibly good here. Skyrath? I don't know if I like the Skyrath. I think he's a little bit too squishy for the Templar, Ember, and Slardar. I mean, all they have to do is jump on him. Templar and Slardar are getting a blink 100%. In fact, I'm trying to think of anyone who might be good at canceling blink daggers, and nothing really comes to mind. I mean, Venomancer is good at that, but he's obviously on Unknown. So, again, I'm thinking Lion might be my number one choice here, but there are a couple other that could be possible.
I like the Lion pick. Would you think that a Sand King would be... Oh, okay. That's cool. I think that's
greedy.
Neat. That's very, very greedy. I just don't know where they're going to get the space around the map to farm up the Shadow Fiend, Legion Commander, and the Enigma to the point where they can all be useful in the fights.
Yeah, the big issue here is that Enigma is going to be farming the jungle, which is exactly what Legion and Shadow Fiend both want to do. So I'm thinking it's going to be a very steady balance for the farm here. They're relying on Chibi being able to dominate his lane, which is going to be tough against the Slardar, possibly a dual lane Slardar and Rubik / Venomancer. If they tri-lane it, even worse. And Pudge, I mean, Jenkins should have a decent time in the offlane. I don't think he struggles against too much as far as the laning phase goes. He'll be able to sit in close by. Unless Venomancer is being uber aggressive on him, then maybe it gets a little bit of a trouble spot. But he should be able to find experience, but you do want farm, and potentially they're just going for the all-out push, get a fast mechanism on Enigma, and then do the whole snowball thing once again. But we'll have to see as this time around. If you're just joining in, it's going to be Team Unknown facing off against Leviathan. The match ticker things on the top are wrong. It is Unknown with 1 game, Leviathan with 2. And
well... Let's get the teams introduced here. On the Dire side, on the side of Leviathan in the safe lane, we've got Shibi on that Legion Commander for the 3rd game in a row. Played it so excellently the last 2 times. Jenkins is going to be in this off-lane Pudge. Very excited to see how that works out. We are going to see Nusham on the Enigma with those fancy little bracers. Flying Zebra on that Winter Wyvern, a favorite of his. And finally, Qilong Qua back on his Shadow Fiend.
All right, and so far now for Unknown, calling the Jenkins Pudge trash, it is going to be Kataru on the Ember Spirit, his famed Ember Spirit with Aton, mi Pastor, mi new Pastor, I guess Nuevo Pastor. He's going to be on the Templar Assassin, Hoshimiki on the Rubik with Zitak playing the Venomancer. And finally, last but not least, and what could be our last call out of the series, Greedy playing the Slardar.
I honestly don't know how the early game is going to go. I think Unknown have a much more stable draft for the early game. Venomancer's going to keep everyone back. TA is going to get some great farm in mid if she can stand up to the Shadow Fiend. Slaughter might have a difficult time in his lane, but Rubik and Ember Spirit, they just kind of do their thing.
Right, and Francis is going to go ahead and dance on that bounty rune as we see an immediate pause. Jenkins suffering some lag. This is very reminiscent of what
Oh
happened
god,
last
not the
yesterday.
punch dropping. I can't
No,
handle
shh.
it.
We talked about this. We're literally going to forget about it. All right?
Oh god.
You're not forgetting about it. You're actually not forgetting
It's
about it. That's what's
burned into my
struggling me.
memory for my life. Oh man. Well, I really hope this isn't going to have any similarities to the terrible event of yesterday. Let's not go into what that was, but we are going to see the bounty runes get distributed equally on both sides. So, no huge advantage coming out before the horn. And who do you think's going to win this mid lane? I'm just not quite sure how the Shadow Fiend Templar Assassin matches up, because Templar Assassin can take a good amount of damage with a refraction, and she can also dish out a good amount too.
I mean, Templar against Shadow Fiend, this is typically a lane that Templar does win. So I honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to them just rotating Shilong Quad to a different lane and having someone else come here, but it looks like they will. They'll try to babysit him and see how it works out. This could be trouble, but as you said, TA should be able to absorb all of that damage. I don't think they kill her. Maybe they get some harass on her, but Francis is going to have a very difficult time doing what he needs to do, and especially with Z talking close by, it's going to be forcing Francis to play very far back. Meanwhile, speaking of playing far back, Jenkins, it's going to be trouble for him. I mean, right now the Searing Chains is only level 1, or if it is leveled up at all, no, it's Flame Guard, so they can't lock Jenkins down just yet, or enough time to kill him. But it still is going to be interesting to see how he deals with this lane, as getting experience is going to be the most important thing for him. Get that level 2 up, rotate to another lane, and hopefully try to find a kill with that. As Shibi, pretty much alone in the top. Because you have to babysit Francis in the mid lane, this is leaving Shibi to his own devices, but Zetox taking so much damage from this tower, it almost means it's almost looking like a win for Shibi so far. Not going to find his last hits that he would like, but still going to be able to get a decent amount of experience.
TA going very deep into dire territory, just trying to make sure that Qilong Quad doesn't feel really safe. She has a salve if she needs it, but that's her last bit of regen. She needs to be a little bit careful. She has the refraction ready to go if she thinks she's going to take damage.
And Arctic Burn could be up for a Flying Zebra if he decides to go in towards the mid lane. They've got an Observer Ward and a Sentry, so they do know whether or not he's got vision of them, but looks like the rotation comes in, and I think they had vision of that one.
Bottom lane, Jenkins going in very aggressively onto the Ember Spirit, going in with the Rot, but now a lift from the Rubik might punish him a little bit. Jenkins going with the hook, but slightly off the mark.
Very close. I have to give him a lot of credit for trying that one. The clarity will come out, and I mean, this is the amount of pressure that Jenkins will be able to put on. Just stay back. Oh, wait. Okay. So he pops a clarity. They don't know he popped a clarity. Right now, Unknown have no idea how much mana that Jenkins has. So the threat for a hook might not be on their forefront of their mind. As he also finds an Invis rune. Okay, that didn't get spotted out by Hoshimiki. So it looks like they have to play relatively careful. But Zetok getting up and aggressive. They've got a bunch of Eidolons, but those are going to die very soon. And it doesn't look like Francis can make a move into this one. But meanwhile, Jenkins, he's here, and he's ready to go. But Aton is a bit far back. Almost think Jenkins has to walk up and go for the Rot, but he tries for the hook anyway. And that's going to mean they don't find that kill.
Pops himself another clarity. He has to make sure he has a hook at all times, because that's just going to keep himself useful. And it looks like Templar Assassin letting herself get a little bit low. She does have the refraction if she needs it. She needs to pop it right now and will get it off.
He walks up to Zetok, who just stands still. The hook, no! Oh, Jenkins, he's still going to walk forward, though. He might still get this kill. The Rot slowing them both equally, it seems like, but no. Looks like Hoshimiki has made his way in. Jenkins doesn't have enough mana for a hook. There is no wraparound as Francis actually brings down Aton. Jenkins, if he goes down here, it's not that bad anymore. And it looks like he most certainly will, trying to deny, but no. The Fade Bolt will come in and secure that one kill.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Pudge just kind of overstayed his boundaries. He hasn't been hitting his hooks, and that's not really a fault of the player, just they're hard hooks to hit, but he needs to be a little bit more solid and know exactly when he's going in and when he's going out if he wants to remain super useful.
It looks like you'll go back to the bottom lane. Jenkins trying to get some experience back as he wasted a bit of time going for those kills that never happened. But Francis, oh man, the miss chance from the low ground, that would have been his death right there. Aton getting very lucky so far in the lane. Although he has died once, Francis is playing this lane so damn well. And Aton, he can't move forward. If he ends up taking a bit too much damage, he could be dead. But Zetok, oh wait, Qilong Quad doesn't have enough mana for raises. There's going to be a bottle coming in though, which means he is most certainly not dead. Popping himself with the, actually the bottle going through. Usham is in close by. The Eidolons try to get rid of their fraction shield, but nope, actually going to just cap him. and bring him on back. Meanwhile, what's this? Jenkins, he's looking for a kill. He's got the Rot eating through 8 tons of refraction shield. He actually gets through it twice. Not going to be able to brit the kill, though. Jenkins won't even get the deny off either. 8 ton very low, but no support.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the Pudge kind of playing a little bit bigger than he is. Again, he needs to be a lot more careful where he goes in, because it doesn't really matter if he dies. He's not losing any significant farm advantage or anything like that, but he just needs to be a little bit more careful because he can be so crucial in these team fights. But if he's super weak and doesn't have anything to his name, then, you know, what's the point? He's just a hook.
Well, Chibi up on the top looking for Greedy. Doesn't have his level 6 just yet and doesn't have enough damage to warrant popping a duel here, so looks like that'll just be the end of that for the top lane. But 8 ton once again taking quite a bit of damage. He is consistently low here on the mid lane. He's got another refraction in 3 seconds. It's going to be a raise. Just one more. Needs the last hit. No, the refraction coming off just barely. Oh man, the luck is on this TA's side right now. But the big thing here is that all 3 bottle charges are being used just to get him up to at least half HP. And this is turning out to be a pretty well-played lane for Francis. Typically, the Shadow Fiend loses this one, but, I mean, he's doing incredibly well. Can he try to burn through another refraction? He's got 2 more charges with the right clicks, and that forces 8 ton to get back.
Yeah, I think this is, again, like you said, beautifully played by the Shadow Fiend, and what does TA do to keep herself here? Because she can't just keep relying on that shield. The refraction's good, but one of these days, Xilanghua is just going to get more damage than she can put up with. Does she try to go for the meld, or I just don't know what she needs to build to keep herself here. Is she going to get the Desolator right away?
The Blaze comes through, and it'll bring down Z-Talk. I do think that the Side Blades is the right choice for him because it gives him that extra range to try to last hit against Xilanghua, but he might just be dead here. Nusham comes in, they get another kill! Leviathan, or at least Francis, is running circles right now around Unknown. And this is trouble for Unknown to be starting with as they face match point.
Yeah, if Leviathan get off to a really strong start here, Unknown are going to have some deep trouble to get out of it. Templar Assassin and Ember Spirit, yeah, they're heroes that do really well in the mid and late game, but they got to get themselves there. They got to get the farm and get the kills required. But if the Shadow Fiend just starts rolling over them from minute 6, this is going to be a lot more difficult for Unknown than they planned for.
Exactly, and we saw it last game. They can pull it off, just getting completely out of control in no time at all, given they can start their early game fairly well. And looks like Jenkins, he's still looking for something on the bottom lane. Though the hook won't be able to net him a kill as Hoshimiki is close by. There's going to be a rotation in towards the mid to help out Xilanghua. Flying Zebra is in close by. They've got Arctic Burn if they want to try to slow down 8 ton. And they will go for it initially, though. He does have the refraction shield. It gets burned away very quickly. Raise number 1, not going to mean all that much. It hits him for a good amount of damage, but the Poison Over, or Venomous Gale rather, runs through. And will catch Xilanghua, slows him down. But it's not going to mean all that much more. It just keeps 8 ton alive as raise number 2 comes through. 8 ton dropping very low, but he's got support in close by. They're trying to burn through those refraction charges. They send the Eidolon straight at him, but he's got the bottle up. So it looks like, oh, Francis maybe a bit aggressive, but no, they'll back away.
Yeah, I think that's the right call there, because if you're in a Shadow Fiend in this good position, you just need to start farming and not jeopardize your kills. If you start dying and losing time in lane, then you're going to slip behind. But right now, he's top of the net worth chart and doesn't want to jeopardize that.
It looks like now, I mean, speaking of net worth, you said Francis is top of the net worth chart, but he could just snowball even further and further. This time, he does transition a lot better into the late game, and oh man, Jenkins, they're playing the deadly game with Kataru here. He knows he's on the low ground. If he gets anywhere close, they just hook and kill him, and he'll still walk in. He does have the Observer Ward on the high ground, but Jenkins, he spots him. He'll turn around. The Flame Guard is up, but in comes the Dismember. The magical damage not doing anything just yet. Now a Black Hole. They want 8 ton. Jenkins, he goes for the hook. They get the damage, and Jenkins will deny himself before the Telekinesis gets the kill.
That was really well played. They lose the Pudge again, but who cares? They get them the Ember Spirit, and that was fantastic. The Ember Spirit was second on the net worth chart, and he'd had a little too much free time in the lane, so they bring him down.
Yeah, that Black Hole being perfect. Perfectly timed for them. But the top lane, Shibi dropping pretty low. There's an amplified damage now onto Greedy as he is starting to transition to what they need for a carry. Still very low on the net worth. And Shibi is doing a little bit better than him. Now I've got a rotation into the mid. 8 ton getting hit by the Arctic Burn. But it's not going to mean all that much for them, as now Greedy will make his way in towards the mid lane. No Blink Dagger for this Slardar, but they could still try to fight regardless. Flying Zebra's actually going to walk straight into him. No. Turns around. Meanwhile, scout out. It looks like Francis did end up scouting the Slardar. Greedy gonna have to force away as Jenkins now into the mid lane. Was there, ready to provide assistance if needed. And getting rid of the Plague Ward too. Getting a nice sum of gold and experience from that.
Yeah, do you think that there's enough room around the map? Like, Enigma's farming the Radiant jungle without many cares in the world. Is he getting enough to make himself valuable? We saw him have a really clutch black hole, but he's getting the farm he needs. This isn't too greedy from Leviathan.
No, he's going to have his mechanism very soon. And they're going to get Z-Talk!
Quick kill right there. That's the Pudge being useful. Gets himself his first kill of the game.
And they get a tier 1, it seems? No, never mind.
No, that was Unknown go ahead and push themselves up a tier 1 with the Ember Spirit. Again, a lot of free time in lane. I think it should be punished by the Pudge again pretty soon, but they're going to focus their attention mid.
Right, but yeah, I do definitely think he's getting enough out of this one. Now, Flying Zebra, he's playing a little bit of a annoying game as he's Arctic burning down and up onto the low ground. It's going to be enough to force... Oh, wait, that's Jenkins.
Dead Pudge.
Yeah, that was very aggressive. Now Aton could continue diving in for this one, but the Malefist rather, is being a big nuisance for him, although Flying Zebra, speaking of nuisances, he finally goes down. Hoshimiki will be the death of him. And so, Leviathan, they drop a couple of kills, nothing major. It is just Jenkins and Flying Zebra. But definitely not something that you want to be giving away right now. You want to try to play the clean game and not give any room to Unknown, but that's a Blink Dagger now completed for Shibi, as he could be looking for his first duel. He's got a TP scroll. I wonder what his target's going to be.
Yeah, we've barely talked about Shibi this game, and that's because he's just been in the safe lane, really doing nothing but farming, hasn't faced a whole lot of pressure. Yeah, it was tough for Legion Commander to be solo against everyone, but clearly getting what she needs out of lane. That's an 11-minute Blink Dagger and duel ready to go. And here we go.
Go for it. They get him. Actually, they might be able to bring down Greedy. They will get the duel win. Shibi now, 10 minutes with another victory under his belt. 10 more damage at his blade.
Oh, Hoshimiki running for his life here as Jenkins has a hook ready to go in 1 second. Will commit it. No, just a right click actually, and Punch secures the kill on the Rubik once again. Rubik steals Rot, maybe trying to go for the deny, something fancy, but could just be a last ditch steal.
And a brilliant TP out by Francis as he realizes the threat coming in from Aton. Moving around, going for the flank, and he wouldn't have been able to run had he not TP'd.
Bottom lane, black hole, off the mark. It did not catch Ember Spirit, and there's just a big sad spot on the ground.
But Kataru could still be dead if he's not careful. Oh man, getting very low, but Greedy. He might look to counter-initiate this one as there is a remnant available. X gets drawn, but I think that's from another caster as they amplify damage now. Ow! In comes the crush, and Nusham. Oh no, okay. It looks like Hoshimiki did steal Eidolons. Meanwhile, Venomancer Z-Talk will go down to the Pudge elsewhere on the map. So it is not without a return kill that, who is it? Nusham goes down? But still, I mean, trading right now is not something Leviathan entirely wants to do. They're still farming up on Shibi and Francis, though.
Yeah, I mean, Shibi's off to a really nice start here. I would like him with a little bit more net worth, but here we go.
Onto Aton. No, he doesn't get it off. Instead, waiting for it. Not going to end up spending it. Going for the Agent Steal, rather. And now he could get it, but not going to spend. Still, they're waiting. Jenkins is up. They've got a ward down, and Jenkins will finally get revealed. Throws a hook, pulls in Z-Talk. And that is it. The duel win as well. They prevent him from getting, or at least he wasn't even level 6, so no Poison Nova anyway, but oh man, what a pick to get. And now Kataru. He's about half HP, so he can't reliably try to fight this one. Aton, even though he's decently amount of HP and Refraction Shield, no Blink Dagger, no Desolator, he just can't straight fight right now. It's Kataru trying to run away. They go in for the hook. They pull him in the Winter's Curse. They pick him down.
Leviathan are running away with this game right now. They have 5 more kills. They're doubling the kill score of Unknown in terms of XP and gold. It's starting to snowball in favor of Leviathan. Legion Commander's only going to get bigger. Chilan Qua's only going to get bigger. Pudge is making himself useful all over the map. I love that pick. I was a little bit curious at the beginning what they were going to do with it, but this is what they do. They hit clutch hooks. They bring down heroes from the back that didn't want to go into the fight, and Unknown are really struggling of how to deal with this.
Yeah, this is a game where you can't run away. Unknown, if they are slightly out of position, it gets punished. Meanwhile, Leviathan, I mean, they have been losing a couple of guys to out of position picks, but still, it just hasn't had the same impact on this game as it doesn't seem like Unknown are farming nearly as fast as they should be farming. Leviathan have now picked up a 4,000 net worth and growing advantage, experience now in excess of 5,000. And the momentum, as I said, and growing. It's all in favor of Leviathan. And they still have Chilanqua, Francis, the Shadow Fiend, incredible flash farmer. They still have Shibi, who's not as good as a flash farmer, but can still take jungle camps incredibly efficiently and bring down waves very fast. And he's got the Aegis Immortality too. Even though he's just got a blink, he's having all the impact in the world. And now Jenkins might get caught out, but he reveals a smoke. His impact has been made. Now Hoshimi Miki is end up pulling up the Chilanqua, but in comes the duel. They find Kataru, and they bring him down. Requiem gets charged, but they're not going to continue it. There's no one close by. The Midnight Pulse comes through, gets rid of some trees. That's about it for now. Leviathan, they find Kataru again. And this Ember Spirit pick, what do you do when a Legion Commander's got the Blink Duel? You just don't get away from that. They had some damage, but not quite enough.
Yeah, I think the only way to get rid of that is to build some sort of stun or just to completely keep her back from the fight. Telekinesis her up, Slardar crush her down, but she's just getting absolutely out of control, and Leviathan, they're at the tier 3s here. It's 15 minutes in and they're ready to break it. Templar Assassin finally picks up her Desolator, but I doubt that's enough to go in and attack Shibi, who's just absolutely a monster right now.
Yeah, speaking of Desolator, Shibi's about to have his, I think. Sending the courier back, but he's got enough gold after this tower to just straight up purchase it.
Is that a BKB or Desolator?
My guess would be Desolator, judging by the fact that he's done that first every single time. And it looks like they go in for Aton. They've got the duel, but this could be the first duel loss, as it looks like, yes, Aton will get the win, but it's not going to be enough as he still goes down. The hook in, Hoshimiki gets brought back. Kataru's still fighting, but the racks are going down. Shibi, does he buy back into this one? It looks like, wait, no, he had the Aegis, that's right. He's back in, but the Poison Nova, it connects on the 3. They've got to turn and run, but can they really do so? Kataru, he goes in, looks for Jenkins, gets the kill. Francis is down. Shibi, he's trying to fight, but the Poison Nova is still taking him away. He's going to turn now onto Zitok, gets 1 kill, but it looks like that is all he's going to get lucky for. As Leviathan, they drop 4, and it looks like, yep, they will drop 5. Unknown defend their high ground. Leviathan getting wiped.
Yeah, Unknown proving that they are definitely still in this, and yeah, they figured out a way to take down Shibi. They just go in, the Poison Nova was just absolutely ideal. They're hitting as many heroes as you could possibly hit, and Unknown hold. They take some damage, they lose their tower, the racks are a little bit low, but nothing's down yet. There's no clear, distinct, they're not fighting against mega creeps or anything. Unknown still have the potential to get back into this. TA got some pretty key kills there, and some dual damage, so I think that Aton is gonna come back in this game and start doing the damage that we need a Templar Assassin to do.
Yeah, the dual damage is the big thing. The fact that she's got so much minus armor makes every little point of damage a lot more devastating. So the fact that they gave her that win is just awful. But you've got to question, their aggressiveness on Aton. They go into him with everyone really alive on Unknown and ready to fight. It just didn't seem like the one they wanted to go for, and it blew up in their faces. They pull off, Unknown did the same thing, I think not last game, but the game before, where they went in for an uber aggressive push and got wiped. So now, they might lose Nusham again. He's got a black hole, and it looks like he might turn to try to counter-initiate, but Greedy, realizing this, will just turn and run. So Leviathan not going to have the chance to go and try to bring down the Slardar for his greediness, so they'll throw in the hook. It's not going to be on the mark.
Yeah, I don't know what Unknown is supposed to do from this point forward. Leviathan's just pushing in, causing so much pressure. Unknown, they got a wipe, they did great, but now they're going to lose a tower, and they can't really contest this, and I don't think they can contest a fight coming out. Shibi's here, Shibi has Desolator, Shibi's ready to fight.
Yeah, so they bring down another tier 1 tower. They make quick work of all those Plague Wards that are up. It's only, they're level 4 Plague Wards too, so they can tank a lot of damage, but looks like that will be a Battle Fury finish as Hoshimiki gets hooked in and brought down. Jenkins finding another one. Fresh meat is on the table, and now Leviathan using this to try to go for another tower, as in comes the very aggressive Blink duel, and Shibi will find a duel win, but Jenkins will get the kill. And they'll bring down a tier 2 at best off this one. I don't know if they can try to push high ground again, but this is disastrous for Unknown, as they're losing so much from these pushes.
That's teamwork right there. The Pudge getting the kill off of that, because Pudge so desperately needs those flesh heaps. Just doing really well, making sure he's tanky and gross and yucky. Has the Blink Dagger. I don't know if we've covered that before, but it's going to make him so much scarier. Commander with the blink dagger as well, they can just blink and destroy. Everyone on Unknown has to be so afraid constantly of being jumped in on.
Yep, and now A-Ton. He'll blink forward, looking for some damage. The side blades are not going to connect. Now, a tier 3 should drop, but it looks like Leviathan are going to play this a lot more carefully. They back off. They're playing very patient. They know Nushan is sitting back with a black hole, and that threat of the black hole is being huge for them. As they move forward, Nushan, he's got it at the ready, drops down the Midnight Pulse, but he moves forward a little bit too far. Unfortunately for Unknown, though, Francis is still very healthy. But looks like Greedy, he pops forward with the amplified damage. The hook will bring Francis back, but now Unknown, they're going for the very aggressive maneuver. They go in, they stop Flying Zebra. Can he get that off? No, the duel will come out. Shibby, though, immediately draws, but who got the win? I don't know. Black Hole, Nusham, he catches 2 on the backlines, but can't do anything with the follow-up. Francis is still alive, but for how much longer they get him with the Searing Chains. The hook in, and Jenkins finds one more out of the ashes. And it looks like Kataru, one more right click through, and Qilong Kwa, the one, the only, also known as Francis, will bring down another kill. And what the hell? 3 dead on Leviathan, but with buyback, Unknown, without. And yeah, I think Templar Assassin got the win, but I am not totally sure. In fact,
no,
wait.
Templar Assassin already had that win.
No, yeah. So, wait. Did Shibby...
Slardar got it.
Oh, okay. Slardar. Way to screw me up, Corporal.
Yeah, so it looks like Qilong Kwa, he's not scared of anything. He took the last Rax where it was just him, double damage on the high ground, and now he's just going to go in. What's a Venomancer going to do? Just stop a full health Shadow Fiend. He's going to go in, but oh, there's the blink in the crush in by the Slardar, but there's a hook from the buddy. Now Jenkins is in. Jenkins, he could dismember this guy right here. Do they have enough damage to turn it? But no. Looks like Greedy might just slither in. Is he going to be, like, this guy's got to have some crazy courage. He's going in on Jenkins. Nice bash right there, and this might be the end of that pudge.
Yeah. Hey, that's the better of the 2 kills. The worst of the 2 kills. Could have gotten. Oh, Qilong Kwa! Oh.
So much damage, but so far the Shadow Fiend is living it out, but there's the Slardar going in with the blink, crushes off the mark, now turning the attention onto Shibby. Can Shibby get away from this? Blink keeps getting cancelled.
Damage down. And it looks like he will rock away, but the meld! A-Ton will get the kill. It's now a buyback from Jenkins, looking to try to counter-initiate, but the major thing here is that the Rax went down the top lane. Leviathan, they still have tier 2 standing as well. So it's not like they got a massive loss off that one. In fact, I'd chalk that one up as a win, as now Roshan should be coming back up very soon, and getting another Aegis out onto Shibby could be fantastic, but they've got to be careful not to give it away to Unknown. Jenkins, not
Careful,
the play,
buddy.
I don't think.
Roche coming up any second now, and I wonder who's going to scout it out first.
Yeah, it looks like, I think Unknown will get the first vision up on it, but Jenkins, as well as Nusham, are on the bottom lane. Very aggressive position from them. Jenkins, I think he's looking for anyone to get out of position for just a short moment so he could capitalize, but even with all this, the vision they've got, they know that Hoshi and Miki is not alone, and it doesn't seem like they're going to go for it, but top lane is still pushing in, and with Greedy having to back off and try to defend against it, Jenkins is still here. They haven't done anything to try to touch him, and they really just can't.
Yeah, What does Shadow Fiend do to keep himself relevant? He has his BKB, he has his Sanjinyasha, he's dishing out huge amounts of damage, and we saw him pretty much solo take down that top set of racks. But is he going to just start getting blown up by the TA? We saw 2 hits from her take him down to, what, like 5 or 6% HP? How does he keep himself tanky? Does he go for something like an AC or a heart? Is that what he has to do, or does he have to just completely build up the damage so TA is not an issue because she'll always be dead?
I would like an AC. I would also like a Satanic, preferably both. Unfortunately, maybe it's neither. I don't know, but either way, he does need to tank up, I think. And he doesn't have to sacrifice tank for damage. If he goes for either one of those 2 items, he still boosts up his own damage, but maybe we see an AC onto Shibby, though. He's going to go for a BKB first, which is going to be huge for him, by the way. The armor is massive for Leviathan. If they can get more of it, that'd be huge, and it looks like they will. They'll pick up a Guardian Greaves on Nusham. That's exactly what they need. BKBs, Guardian Greaves, now they can just take any fight they want.
Look at this Roche melt.
But yeah, Roshan's down, and Leviathan, they don't have enough time to answer this, but they can still fight outside the pit. It's not like an Aegis on A-Ton means they lose the fight. But it looks, with Winter Wyvern a little bit too far back, they're not going to be able to catch him on their escape. And a free Aegis will now go the way of Unknown.
Yeah,
And I like this creep, by the way. They pick up the Ogre Frost Mage just to give Francis a little bit of extra armor to deal with a Templar Assassin.
That's such a well thought out strategy. They could just pick someone to stack the Ancients, but no, he's got his little buddy following him around, making sure he's always icy. Do Leviathan group up and try to push their advantage here, or do they just sit back and farm? Because I think the longer they sit back and farm, the more that TA is going to be a problem on the side of Unknown, and we haven't talked about it a whole lot, but Ember Spirit, he's been doing a lot to get himself back in this game, sitting 3rd on the net worth chart. He has a Battle Fury and a Chrysalis. He's started to do some real damage.
I think you answered your own question. Yeah, Leviathan do not want to sit back and farm. They've got to keep pressing an advantage, but the problem is with his Aegis, it kind of makes them think twice about fights, and when you have to think twice about fights on the aggressive lineup, then things get very sour for you. So right now, Leviathan are going to just man up and try to push down the bottom lane, maybe get a second set of racks, but they're going to have to do this without taking any casualties, or at the most, losing their supports. They can't afford to lose Francis, as if he loses this highest spot in the net worth, he loses half of his impact in the game. And we all know Chevy not going to be able to farm as fast as the Templar Assassin and the Ember Spirit, so it's very likely that he drops back behind them, and he does. But that doesn't mean he's lost his impact. It's a different story again for Francis. So keep them active, farm, but don't lose your aggression.
Take a look at the net XP chart. It's actually crossed back into favor of Unknown, and I think that's showing a lot about how the team fights are going. Unknown are just getting more out of the map right now, and Leviathan, they're kind of grouping up looking for something, but they're not farming, they're not in the jungle, they're not in lane. I don't know what Leviathan need to do right now, but they need to be pushing, and they need to be getting some kills. There is going to be a smoke out, Enigma popping that for himself, and there's going to be a 4-man rotation into the jungle, but there's really no one there unless they rotate all the way in to find the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, this could be a big kill if they find him. Remember, he's still very squishy. 9 armor, 1200 HP, 1 duel, and he's dead.
Yeah, that was exactly what they needed to get out of the map. Leviathan showing that they're still a huge presence. Are they going to go for the push here that's exposed racks? They could just go in. Flying Zebra actually didn't show herself in that last fight. It's still smoked up, but will reveal. So now it's just going to be, I think they're going for this tier 2. They want to make sure they have the mid advantage, because mid racks are going to help them out a tremendous amount.
Yep, they force the TPs back, so those are down. They're trying to force a buyback, so that's down. It's just coming back to how this plays out. Now, Jenkins is looking for a hook. He goes for a cheeky one, which may catch someone who's aiming a little bit too far forward on the high ground, but it will connect. He's got enough time to go for a second one now, and maybe he just throws a blind one a hook. He can probably find Z-Talk if he's not careful, and it does! He gets it blind onto the Venomancer. The Poison Nova comes out, but in comes the Black Hole. They find Aton. This is huge. They get this kill. They need to bring him down a second time, though. The Aegis Immortality will bring him back up. He pops his BKB and now turns to fight, but Chilanqua, Francis, he's got the Ogre Frost Mage. He's got plenty of armor. And the Winter's Curse will try to secure their escape. They're looking for the blink forward, the amplified damage. They will go back out onto Francis, but in comes a duel out onto Aton. A Black Hole stolen by Hoshi is not going to last nearly as long as they need it to. They will bring down Aton a second time. Hoshi Miki without a buyback as well. And Katara will finally bring down that Ogre Frost Mage, but Nusham blinks forward aggressively, will spawn a bunch of Eidolons. The hook forward is not going to find Z-Talk. And Kataru is going to have to back himself away. Francis, large and in charge, but the Battle Fury is dealing a pretty decent sum of damage. They'll press the attack onto Nusham, and now they make their go. Glenn Jenkins, he goes forward, finds Z-Talk again. This guy's a hook magnet. Nusham now forward, looking after Greedy, will stop those blinks with the Maledict, or Malefice rather, and it looks like these racks are about to fall.
This is
hook! Jenkins, a third one, goes for the hat trick. And of course they can't find this kill, but it will secure their racks. My God.
Crush in. Chilanqua is getting very low, gonna be healed up. Oh my god, another hook secures the kill onto the Slaughter. Immediate buyback. This guy's angry and ready for some blood. Looks like Ember Spirit trying to do what he can with the Sleight of Fist. All of Leviathan are low. They need to get back right now. Slaughter going in. He's fast. He's gonna get stunned up a little bit, but now she'll be going in with another duel. If she finishes this off, it's all over. She has her win. She has 90 damage. Is she gonna get killed here? No, she's gonna get helped out by that Winter Wyvern, and now Unknown. TA taking so much damage, and TA is gonna go down. This is gonna be unbelievably huge, and I think this is potentially game right now. I don't know how Unknown can hold this. Leviathan, they've done everything they need to do to put themselves in a good position right now, and if Leviathan win this, they win the entire tournament. This is it. This is match point.
It all hangs in the balance as Francis, he goes after those tier 4s. He wants it so damn bad. Kataru, he makes his way in. This is their final stand. They pop out with the Poison Nova. And what is this? No! No!
They're just... But that's not the right team.
No!
Dota
Oh,
crashed.
man. Talk about the hype. It grew and grew and grew. And then Unknown are just like, nope. Take a pin, poke it, and it blows up. And it looks like they will go ahead and reconnect in this game. As finally, an Unknown looks like they have tapped out. No, they go in one more time. Sleight of fist. Is it going to be enough? Shibby moves forward. Looks like they're looking to bring this one down. Dismember. They get it. And that is it. Good game. Well played. Leviathan, Season 3 Sudamerican Master winners. They take home the $2,000 grand prize. Unknown are left with just 1K pecking money. Although best of luck to Unknown in Frankfurt. Today is Leviathan's day.
Absolutely. Leviathan, they're going to win the Sudamerican Master, which is a little bit funny because they are the only non-South American team, but they have showed that NA Dota is just as strong as ever. But Unknown, although they taste the sweet defeat of second place, they run home with $1,000 and plane tickets to the majors. So both teams have a lot of success. Clearly both fantastic teams. You saw them bantering in the lobby, both very well-mannered. They like each other. They're good guys here. So awesome games to watch, and this has been the Sudamerican Master 3.
Indeed, guys. Again, thank you so much for watching. You see our Twitters there, but just to reiterate, I'm Chicago Ted, at TedCast on Twitter. And where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitch or Twitter at AnneDroid, ANNEEDROID, and on Facebook or YouTube at AnnieCasts.
All right, guys, as the dust settles, Leviathan taking the 3-1 victory. My God, what a series. Thank you guys so much for joining in on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the cast as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. But unfortunately, that's it for today. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you all next time.